I want to say that the 10 minutes given to me are actually very short for me to unveil my agenda. However, I will be very brief and see what I can do with the 10 minutes. The first and foremost, as somebody who has a background working with the development organization, especially in Zamfara State, health partners, particularly those that are supporting the State in the area of malaria, tuberculosis, and also maternal and child health. I have privileged knowledge of the health indicators of the State, especially in this area. However, since I am not an expert in that, one of the things that I will do to ensure we have the valid and correct information through having a technical team by my side to really come up with the critical and very sound and valid information in respect to our indicators, the health indicators, which mostly are actually bad. The maternal deaths, the child deaths, the malaria, the deaths associated with malaria and other deaths, and also the poor infrastructure. There's facilities, and also having a very sound and correct information in respect to result surveillance reports, and also disease surveillance reports, and also having information that will help the state to design a robust and strategic and more realistic sector plan. That is one thing I will do. The second thing that I will do is to ensure honest, realistic review of the health sector, plan. The health sector plan that has expired, the one that is the current, will now review to see what has happened that it could not be implemented, or it has been implemented, what were the challenges. We learn from the challenges, we see how we now develop a new, realistic, honest, and implementable sector plan. I will ensure that the sector will have a befitting and workable and doable plan, because that is the starting point. If we don't have a plan that is implementable, we only have plan on paper. So I will ensure as the chief executive of the state, the health practitioners, the stakeholders will have to come up with a realistic and implementable plan. Another important aspect of my own agenda is the community-driven development agenda. For me, all our challenges, including health, border around neglecting the community to be at the driver's seat. Government decide for people, where government sometimes use experts to say this is what the people want, and so be it. What happened to the people themselves? They should be at the driver's seat, while government support and facilitate to galvanize the process of any development. Now, let's say, for example, case identification on a particular disease. If we involve the locals, the people themselves, to participate in identifying those cases, you have the community volunteers and so on. They identify these cases from their own people, and it's the most accurate information that you may have. Instead of having an expert should help to support these people to know how to do it, but they will be the one to do it. And also, if you identify problems of community, health problem for instance, the community themselves should be part of the health problem identification. Not just somebody will think this is what the community wants. It should be that particular community that will say we have problem of malaria, problem of this, problem of that, problem of that. Again, this community should be encouraged to prioritize these problems. What they prioritize, and then analyze the one that is having the top ranking priority. And then why government is continuing to follow up to ensure this is done correctly and in order of professionalism and ensuring that justice is done to all those processes. And then when the problem is analyzed, some of the problems will have solution within the community. For example, when we talk about cholera, maybe environmental and health experts related to poor hygiene. Now, this poor hygiene can be eliminated using community systems where people will help themselves to keep clean their environment, their food, their water, and so on. So you see the role of community here can then be overemphasized. So when it is now agreed that so is a problem with the community, especially health problem, for example, maternal and child death, somebody say their community is a major issue. We now come with the community, see to that problem, what could be the issue? Is it the absence of the primary health care facility? Is it the delays that are happening, delays from the family decision, delay on the distance to the facility, or delay at the facility? We now see how best the community will be used to eliminate those delays. And of course, we'll be having a reduction in the number of women that will be dying while giving birth, or the number of children that died at the day of their birth. It can happen to other issues, malaria, tuberculosis. For example, when we talk about malaria, we talk about the issue of prevention is always better than cure. Well, what happened to our people using nets? What stopped them from using it? Can there be studies within the communities? If those studies exist, what were the recommendations from those studies? Can those recommendations be implemented to help communities to assist themselves to fight malaria? The same thing with other different medicine. Another thing that I also want to ensure will happen is it part of the segment of community-driven development where community are put at the center stage, is to ensure that facility health committees exist, not only exist, but they are very functional in terms of what they are expected to do. Every facility should not be left to the hands of the health workers there. The people should participate in the management and running of that particular facility, because the facility belongs to them. And why they even have to do that is that if there's any problem, there's no way the community will not suffer from that problem. So it is something with the education sector where SBMCs have been put in place. They are functional, they are working, they are challenging bad service, they are supporting the head teachers. The same thing. This ward development committees or facilities health committees should be able to be strengthened, their capacity built to ensure that they assist in the delivery of primary health care. Because as the name implies, primary health care is supposed to provide basic primary needs of the health system. So my administration, inshallah, will strengthen the primary health care system, will strengthen the primary health care service delivery in terms of ensuring people are part and parcel of the running of this particular level of care, and also providing what it takes to have a standard primary health care. The primary health care has a number of items and personnel that ought to have been there. My administration will ensure where it exists will be strengthened, where it doesn't exist will provide it, inshallah. Because it's doable, it's something that can be done by the government. But the little, what is it called, resources that the government have. Apart from ensuring that, we also ensure we fight corruption and ensure transparency and accountability within the system. The last presenter that presented, he made mention clearly issue of corruption. And he was saying that if so amount should be given to medical directors, they can transit to 5-star. And if they fail to do that, means they can be jailed. Which means there's tendency of even if you provide these resources, somebody will steal the resources. So we ensure that we put in place the skilled, the anti-corruption mechanism within the management of these resources. Even if it is meager that is given to you, let that resource be used by the facility that is meant for that, for the people, because the money is public funds. It's not our personal money. So we ensure that we have what is called community accountability and transparency initiative. That we call it CATI. I call it CATI in my own plan. And that CATI is going to ensure that within the facility health committees, within the ward development committees, we have people who are very much passionate about health system, passionate about having it right, passionate about the changing the narrative. We give them opportunity to form those groups, and they will be the one following the money. They will have what is called follow the money. If it is 5 naira that is given to a particular facility, this team will ensure the 5 naira has value where it is being lodged. They will ensure to report any mismanagement. They are going to ensure that the money is spent for the people has been actually given to the people. So my administration...
1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
My administration will ensure that we have a state law that will give them backing. Those CATI, they will give them backing. We are going to improve in the area of budgetary allocation of our health sector. Not only budgetary allocation, but releases, because I'm very much aware there are so many problems around releases. I can remember some few years back, there was 0 releases for malaria from the state. The government has relied on partners to provide for malaria. No, that trend must be changed. We ensure that welfare of the doctors, to avoid the brain drain, even though I wanted to hear a narrow presentation about our state, the situation of our own doctors, how many of them have left, what are the reasons they have left for, and even though the reason will be the same with the one presented, but we really wanted to know in our own peculiar state here, because we are not contesting national elections, I'm only contesting state election, I will need to have information before I act. So I really need to know how many the doctors have left from our state here and for what reason, and what can be done to bring them back. We'll try to do that. I want to say that I believe in the state we may not have need for additional hospitals. We have enough buildings. We have enough buildings. Buildings are not going to be our priority, but strengthen the system in those buildings. We ensure that we provide adequate system that will be in those buildings. I agree with some assertions that in some rare cases we may need additional buildings, but for me, I don't think we need buildings. We have so many of them. So that is one. Another thing is issue of removing dependency factor to our donors. You see, these donors, the half of what they contribute is just 5% of our budget. What happened to the 95%? If donors are just providing 5%, why are we always thinking about this donor money? Why are we so much relying? SC system is about to allow without donors. Why? We are going to change that narrative. We'll ensure that the money, the 95%, work for people as equal to what the 5% is doing. We are not going to send the donors out, but we are not going to rely or depend on them on our system, especially critical sector health. Again, a clear system that I talk about the issue of workable and acceptable plans rests on issue of political will. As I present myself to the citizens or people, I have the will, I have the political will to accept changes. I have the political will to endorse the plan that is workable, acceptable and robust and participatory. And that is why I know I am capable of providing that political way. One of the critical aspects of it as well is the issue of, like my friend talked about, the insecurity. It's a part of the system that we have to, come to. Security is the sole responsibility of federal government. However, state government have other responsibility of complementing and also making other logistic arrangements. We will inshallah see how we can use community-driven development to address insecurity. I so much believe that this our problem. Banditry, kidnapping, stealing are all formed by people. While they are also can be addressed by the people. These problems are local, and locals can address it. So government, under my leadership, inshallah, will come to the aid of the people to address the problem by themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The NRI candidate.